everyone. How many of you have encountered a seemingly outrageous article on the internet, shared it using the social media of your choice, only to find out that it is completely incorrect? This is the typical first interaction that we all have with fake news. As we all know, the proliferation of fake news has dramatically increased in recent years. Today we're going to talk about what fake news is, how this affects people's perceptions of others, and how to be able to identify these kinds of articles. So what are we talking about when we say fake news? The Cambridge Dictionary defines fake news as stories that appear to be news that are spread on the internet or other means that are either typically a joke or used to influence political views. Additionally, the website WebWise.ie describes multiple different types of fake news in their article. A couple of different options that we have here. There is clickbait. This is a typical kind of article where stories are designed for the sole purpose of driving advertisement revenue, and they will blatantly use false headlines, pictures, things that obviously are incorrect to drive people to click on their site, increase advertisement. Another example of this is propaganda. These are obviously biased articles written by a party on one side of the political aisle or the other that are not giving their sources or the content a fair and unbiased judgment. Another kind is satire. These are articles that are intentionally false, usually for comedic effect. You may be thinking at this point, what does this have to do with me? Next, we're going to talk about how this affects people's perceptions of each other, specifically those that believe differently than they do. Typically, the reason that these articles and other forms of media are created is to influence your opinions of opposing groups. With literally so much information at our fingertips, much more than has ever been possible, this has caused the spread of this misinformation. Think of the typical way that people in your political circle, social circles, view the opposing groups. A lot of the times these are portrayed as, you see the other side as monsters or people that just don't understand, children. There's all kinds of different ways to view that these perceptions are thrown about. With these and millions of other depictions, a lot of the times it is lost that both sides are just people trying to make the best decisions for themselves with the information that they have. Additionally, there are a lot more of these deceptive articles use similar URLs to respectable journalism sites that which just turns out to make things more difficult. This ties into how we're going to identify whether a site is true and reporting fairly or incorrect. Typically, a good rule of thumb to use is that if the information seems outlandish, doesn't seem plausible, it's probably not. There are many good ways to investigate this kind of content, and in order to do that, you have to kind of have an idea first of what's not going to be true, and that's a good rule of thumb to go with. Snopes.com is a typical fact-checking website that a lot of people use. They pride themselves on doing independent research to confirm facts and present them in a way that assists people by providing the correct information in an unbiased way so people can make up their own minds. Otherwise, you can investigate the author and the site that you're looking at to confirm that they're respectable sources or that their body of work is indicative of someone that you would like to quote. In summation, today we've gone over the different types of fake news articles and how these affect people's perceptions, typical indicators of these kinds of news, and really what this kind of news is, not news. Leaving here today, I hope you consider how this has affected people in your own life and how to attempt to bridge the gap with people from the other side of the aisle.